Season 3, Episode 10, Stories Unlocked. Matthew Mazzotta.
Hello.
Welcome. Did I get the last name right?
You did. You
Mazotta.
did well there.
Okay, obviously Italian.
Yes.
All right. So, well, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Everyone's busy these days, and the fact that you've taken the time means a lot. But let's just jump straight into it. Let's run it back as far as you can remember. What was it like? You're 3, 4 years old, growing up in the Mazotta family.
Yeah. At that age, it was just me and my brother Michael. I actually have 3 brothers, all younger. So I was eldest child, eldest grandchild as well. So Italian background, as you can imagine, quite a traditional background when it comes to it. A lot of different, the morals and it's very different, I guess, to what everyone's used to. So it was fun. It was great. My grandparents were still very, very much like living off the land sort of thing. Like we still made our own tomato sauce, salami, wine. My nunu was actually well known for his wine. So yeah, no, it was good. It was good. I had a great childhood. Parents were hard workers, came from my grandparents, but also being hard workers. They came here in the 50s. They made something from nothing. And my parents have taken that on further. And then, yeah.
All right. Let's go further back.
Yeah.
Your grandparents, both Italian?
Yes.
What areas from Italy?
All from Calabria.
All from Calabria?
Yeah.
That's where the mafia is from, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. It's probably the most dangerous one too, yeah.
Okay, all right. Did they meet there? Did they meet here? How'd that work?
So on my dad's side, they met here. On my mum's side, they met there.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah.
On your dad's side, they met here, and then on the boat,
yeah,
we're talking. Is that Mussolini, 1950s?
Yeah,
earlier.
Post,
That's
post.
post. That's
yeah,
post.
Yeah. So after World War II, there was nothing going on there in Italy. They had to come somewhere.
Yeah.
It actually all stemmed back further. So my I think it's great uncle was a prisoner.
Man, I've never
of war.
gone ancestors, but let's run it back even further.
Yeah, he was a prisoner of war actually, and came here. I think he was up in Cairns in the fields, the cane fields, and yeah, I think he escaped actually, and ended up finding a job, and then went back to Italy and said everyone's going to come to Australia, and that's how it happened. That's how it started.
Okay, so how's a prisoner from war in Italy end up in Australia?
So he got captured as part of the Italian army because they were on the other side back then.
Okay, who captured?
I believe the Australians captured him.
Yeah. Oh right, okay.
Yeah.
And did they get him from what?
I think I think they caught him in South Africa, I believe. I don't know.
I don't want to embarrass myself with the history.
Yeah, same.
Hey, mention Gallipoli or something.
Yeah. So I'm not too sure about that one, but I do know he was a prisoner of war, and he came here as a prisoner of war, and he actually escaped, worked here for a while, couldn't believe the money he was making, and then went back. And what they love, Italians, is growing vegetables, growing fruits, and he was loving how he could easily grow his zucchinis and eggplants, and went back and told everyone about it. And then the next minute, they're all like, all right, we got to get over to Australia.
What was his name?
To be fair, everyone in my family's named Frank, so it most likely would be Frank, but it could be something else. I don't know.
Shout out to Frank.
Yeah.
So he literally he blew the whistle and he said, everyone get to Australia, and then your parents, where were they born?
So both
around Sydney.
Yeah, my parents were both born here. My mum was born in what's that? It's a wealthy suburb now, but back then it wasn't.
Parramatta.
No. Where all the dressmakers are. Near the city.
Double Bay.
Close to.
Okay.
Close, like Rose Bay, around there.
Right.
But then they ended up moving inner west, where all their family was, to Croydon Park, and then eventually now in Concord, and then my dad's parents in Ashfield.
Nice.
Yeah.
And whereabouts did your parents meet?
Yeah, this is a funny one. My dad DJ'd my mum's 21st.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he was on the job.
Yeah. And they of course they spoke before the 21st about the songs they wanted to get played and the rest of it, and they sort of hit it off on the phone, and on the night they didn't speak much, but in passing they saw each other. And then my dad shot his shot, I think a couple of weeks later, and asked her out, and the rest is history.
Wow. And what did your dad do growing up?
My work wise,
Yeah.
yeah. My dad, other than DJing, he still does it occasionally. He does all the Italian weddings.
What's his DJ name?
DJ Dance Machine. So as you can imagine, as a kid,
DJ Dance Machine.
I did cop it.
That's cool. That's
yeah,
cool.
Yeah. Look, I love it. I embrace it. To be honest, he did it for us. To be honest, because the other job was he was a technician at Telstra.
Got it.
Yeah.
So he was technician, and then also at night DJ.
Yeah.
Tell me about your mum. What was she doing?
My mum, she did a bunch of jobs actually. It was, to be honest, when I was born, it was mainly to help us out. But before us, she was a dressmaker. So she's actually quite good at on the sewing machine and designing and creating dresses. Originally, that's what she wanted to do. And then after I was born and my brother was born, she took some time off to look after us, and then went into a receptionist role. And then she actually had then my third brother and fourth brother a bit later. Again, took some time off, and then since then has done a bunch of jobs actually, some really rewarding ones. So she worked in NDIS and in disability care for quite a while, and then now she's actually working still in at schools, just helping kids out with learning difficulties. So yeah, she's a gem, that one. Yeah.
No, cool. You got to have a big heart to do that, don't you?
Yeah, she definitely does. Yeah.
There you go. And you mentioned brother. Older, younger?
I got 3 younger brothers.
Okay.
Yeah.
How young?
So Michael is 26. Gabriel's turning 21 very soon, and then Julian's 18.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a big gap.
Yeah. There's a 10-year gap between myself and my youngest brother.
That's a very cool, man. Very cool. So you're 4 or 5 years old. Where'd you go to primary school?
I went to primary school at St. Francis Xavier in Ashbury.
Okay. And you're in year 1, year 2. Are you the popular kid in the playground? What's going on?
I was the kid that always had a smile on their face and just wanted to have a good time. I would say I always somewhat I was friendly, so I tried to make friends and tried to make friends easily. But that's only because like I was just, even as a kid, my mum always says I just wouldn't shut up, and I would just always want to be part of something. So at all times I had to make an acquaintance. I had to build a connection. So yeah, I wouldn't say popular, but I wouldn't say unpopular.
Very cool. You into sport?
Yes.
When you were in primary school? What are you, soccer?
Yeah.
Oh, that was a hard one.
To be fair, I played too many sports as a kid, but soccer was the main one. But dad threw me in a bit in tennis, basketball, and cricket. Surprisingly, I was one of the only Italians in cricket for quite a while, to be honest, especially in high school. But it was mainly soccer. Yeah, I got thrown into it at a young age, and I don't know how I still play, but yeah.
What position?
Unfortunately, I'm a left back.
Left back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. As my legs started going and my body started changing, the agility started going. I started working further and further to the back line, but it's all right. I still enjoy it, but every year is becoming harder and harder.
Well, man, you look at yourself now, 28 years old. I mean, how old's Ronaldo?
I think he hit 41 or 42 now.
Well, you still got time, dude.
Yeah.
You think about that.
Look, the Italian national team calls up players like 28, 29, so who knows?
100%. 100%. It gives me hope when I see these players at like 39, 41. I think if I just start again now, maybe you can, maybe not.
Yeah.
All right. So during primary school, anything kind of major happen during that time?
No, not necessarily. Primary school was a bit of a blur because high school, I started my high school in year 5. So it was still primary school technically, but it started a lot earlier. So a lot of my memories from school actually comes from my high school. Very cool.
And you get to high school. What are the kind of subjects you're interested?
Yeah. So in high school, it's funny. Everything I did well at was actually more on the maths side and science side. So, yeah, that's what I more leaned towards. I wasn't the best at English or history or anything like that. It was more, yeah, the maths, physics, chem, and everything was actually guiding me towards being like an engineer or something along those lines. So I ended up in for something very, very different. Yeah.
So, I mean, during that time, did you know what you wanted to do?
No, no, I did not. No, I somewhat liked the idea of engineer or architect growing up in high school, but I got turned off on it when I was mainly in HSC. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
And would you say you were an academic back in high school? Something that you
Yeah, I think I was up until a certain stage. I think I was doing well up until probably year 11, year 12. I was one of the, like, I think the third youngest in my age group. I don't think I was mature enough yet at that time to really comprehend I need to focus, I need to study, even though my parents pushed me quite hard to do so. I wouldn't say I did poorly. I just think I could have done a lot better. And I would have done a lot better if I actually chose the subjects that I wanted to choose. So everyone was telling me, "Hey, you're great at maths. You're not bad at science. Do those. Be an engineer." And if I had to go back in time, I would have done everything differently.
and what would have been that?
I would have done business studies. I would have done commerce. I would have done PE. I would have done things that I'm actually interested in, because it's not to talk shit about the HSC, or like, I do think people that get a great ATAR, they deserve it. You know what I mean? Well done. But it is a memory test. You know what I mean? So you're going to memorize the things that you actually want to memorize. For me, I was looking at chemistry formulas and I was doing 3 unit maths, and I was looking at it going, fuck, I don't know where to start here. You know what I mean? And I somewhat lost interest, and I that's when I realized I didn't want to be an engineer. I didn't want to be an architect. I actually started really questioning where I was going to go in life.
There you go, and a memory test.
Yeah.
It's a good way of putting it. Any side hustles in high school?
Not side hustles, but I started work from like the earliest age you could. I think it was 13, 9 months. I started working. I think I got to credit my parents for that. I saw how hard they worked in life, and I was like, I wanted the nicer stuff. You know, I mean, in high school, I saw the kids. Again, going to somewhat pub a not a private school, it's Catholic private. You had a mix of working class and
Yeah.
and upper class, and I was very much working class. There's no shame in that. My parents did very, very well, and they worked very, very hard to send me to that school. When you see kids rolling up to school with those nice shoes and nice clothes, and like, I remember as a kid, I always wanted Adidas trackies, and I was like, "Mum, can I get Adidas trackies?"
Expensive. They're like $100.
Yeah, back then, yeah, yeah.
Like, that's expensive, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, and same as like I remember the ASIC Tigers. I remember
Yeah.
the ASIC Tigers. Clearly, I wanted them so badly as a 13, 14-year-old, and I couldn't get them. You know what I mean? And I was like, "Fuck this! I'm getting a job."
So, what were you doing during that high school?
Work wise,
Yeah.
yeah, I jumped all over the place, but my first ever job was Domino's.
And how old were you?
13, 9 months.
You were 13 years old at Domino's.
Yeah.
Is there any photos you can pop up on the screen?
Oh, I don't know, but I can probably
In the
find you
WhatsApp with
some.
To, all right, send it through. I want to see. I want to see it.
We'd have to go deep. My
If we can't
parents-
find it, To, whip up something on stock.
Done,
all right,
done,
Whip-
done, done.
Whip something up.
I'll tell you a funny story.
Go
This
on.
is when this is how young I was. I never forget. They put me on the phones at first, and then they put me in the front because they're like, this kid looks Italian. He can sell pizza, whatever. I ring up, the phone answers, and I'm working at Domino's, and I get hello, and they're like, I'm like, hello, this is Pizza Hut, and they're like, isn't this Domino's? And I just hang up. I was like, my boss is sitting next to me going, did you just say we're Pizza Hut? I'm like, no. Don't worry, it was just a prank caller. Don't worry about it.
The nerves.
Yeah, yeah. But I went from that, worked at a local Italian reception hall. Credit for my dad getting me that job because he DJ'd there every.
And when was that?
It was called Mediterranean House in Five Dock.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
There you go. It's still around, right?
No.
No?
They I think they wrapped up about 2 years ago, 3 years
Okay.
ago, but that was running for like 50 plus years.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had the pleasure of working there. It was long hours, hard work, but it was great learning experience because that was probably my first ever taste of proper hard physical work. And then
And just with that, a lot of weddings.
Yeah.
What kind? Mostly Italian weddings.
Italian, yeah, Greek, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Out of the, you would have had Lebanese too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Who was the hardest one to waiter at?
Or I think Italians are the worst.
Italians,
to be
eh?
honest. Yeah, yeah. We're the most because you know why? Italians, we only give a shit about the food at weddings. We don't care about anything else. Lebo's more alcohol, Masso's more alcohol. Greek again, the food, the alcohol, the dancing. But Italians, they'll just sit there all night, eat the food. And if the food's shit, you're gonna cop it.
Gonna cop it, eh?
Yeah, yeah. But luckily, Mediterranean house, best food. So,
very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah, I worked in weddings for about 7 years myself,
Yeah, there you go.
and I saw you get the Asian weddings, the Aussie weddings, the Lebo weddings, the Greek weddings. I found the Serbians used to kick my ass.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, always.
The
Always.
Balkans in general, and I shouldn't talk
Croatians.
shit. I'm married to a Balkan, but
Be careful what you say.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, they go hard.
She's gonna
man.
jump through the window.
Nah, she's great. She's great. But like, I've been to weddings where there's more the hardcore ones, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Out comes Iraqi.
Yeah, the rakia is
Rakia?
Oh, that's petrol, man.
I got
Like,
the word wrong. It's
Yeah,
pretty bad.
But I've had it enough now that I don't flinch anymore. So we're making steps of progress.
Rocket fuel.
Yeah.
Good stuff. All right, so Domino's, Mediterranean house. What else?
Yes.
Can I get the soda water too?
What else? I'm going through all my childhood. I ended up at now I don't even know what it's called now, but it was called Kudos Bank Arena before Ace Arena in Sydney Olympic Park there,
Yeah.
where they do all the concerts.
That's cool.
Yeah, I had a couple jobs there. I was in the bar, I was in the food. I used to waiter.
old were you?
I would have been that was through from like 16 to about 18 there because I
Okay.
was there. I had to get my RSA at a certain point, and that's when I worked at the bar.
I was going to
and-
say the feds were listening when you said 16 at the bar.
I started off in food though when I was underage, and then at the same time I would help mates with soccer academies. So I'd go there and just help set up sessions and trainings there, which was cool. And then my last, and then eventually I got a job at my uni, which was just again more hospitality. I don't know why, just hospitality. I had a lot of jobs in hospitality, and same time I was working office works at night, so I'd have the dual job there plus uni.
And just at Kudos Bank Arena,
Yeah,
how do you work when you've got like some like crazy artist just
it's hard. Yeah, it's
and
hard.
it's like you're a fan of that artist.
Yeah.
You don't just poke your head in and just enjoy it a little bit.
Yeah.
You can't not.
Honestly, like they were very restrictive, and if you did anything wrong, job gone. And I heard so many stories.
Who
of
was the kind of people that would play? Everyone.
Everyone.
Yeah.
We had Drake. We had Bruno Mars. We had Katy Perry. I had the pleasure of sometimes working in the actual stores, like selling popcorn in those concerts, and got to watch the concert for free, which was great. But
That's very cool.
yeah, it was a cool job. And I remember it was the first job I got that was probably like on the books legit. Like it was great. It was awesome. Yeah.
Okay, so you come out of high school and was it office works plus uni plus
Yeah, and plus the job at uni, and then
what were you doing at uni, sorry?
yeah, I was working in just a burger joint at uni. I went to Macquarie Uni, and they had in the food court. It was called the Grill. I don't know if they trademarked that or stole it from Grilled, but no one caught on it. But yeah, I was working at the burger joint, and I was known around the uni when I used to go in class as the guy that worked at the burger joint. But I was like, mate, I'm here. I'm already here. It was a trek from home, so I might as well work while I'm here.
Very good. And what uni was that?
Macquarie.
Macquarie Uni. And what were you studying again?
I was doing business. Yeah, business commerce.
Business commerce.
Yeah.
So
How did I get into that? You're gonna ask.
you were yeah, what did you want to, I mean, you went from physics and maths and the rest of it. Why now?
Yeah. So, I fell into marketing by accident, but initially I was getting into commerce to do accounting. And the reason was after school I caught up with my godfather, and he's quite successful, worked as treasurer for a lot of reputable companies. And he told me, you're good at maths, you know what I mean? Get into accounting. you'll do well there. Try and grasp it. Become a chartered accountant. And you'll do well. And yeah, I got into uni and I absolutely hated it. It didn't fit my personality at all. I couldn't. Again, it just wasn't appealing to me, and I did feel lost again, to be honest.
Okay, so how long did you kind of last?
I lasted, honestly, probably I did it for a year. And it's funny, like I never told my parents this, so if they watch this, they're gonna learn. But man, I probably failed half my subjects that first year. I might as well not have gone to uni. I was, again, still 17 because I was young for my age, young for my year group at school, immature. I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I pretty much jumped into accounting, thinking, look, let's give it a go. And then by chance, the one subject I did pass was marketing, and I loved it. And I was like, okay, might as well steer into something I actually love. And then from the second year onwards, I did marketing at uni.
Okay, and what would that we're talking about? What, 19 years old, 20?
So I was 17 when I started uni. So by 18, I was doing marketing. Yeah.
Okay, so still young, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's right, because you were always a year behind.
Yeah.
I mean, during that time, I think we kind of jumped with you got all these brothers being born in high school too.
Yeah.
That's pretty big.
Yeah. And like they were a
I mean,
lot
primary
younger.
school, yeah.
Yeah, they were a lot younger than me. So it was very different.
What was that like? I mean, you got to take care of them too, right?
Yeah. And they like naturally little brothers look up to older brothers. So you got to set the right example and you got to step up where necessary. And my dad, my mum did lean on me a lot to help out. So, and I did, like, I didn't mind. I'll do anything for my little brothers.
Yeah. So, I mean, even in early days in high school and primary school, I mean, that must have been young. You must have been taking care of it. It must have been a big part, right?
For sure. Like it was great because I got to watch them grow up. So now that they're both like younger too, like of course my second brother is what we grew up more together, I'd say, but the other two, because they were so much younger, I watched them grow up. So yeah, I guess it's a bit of a different one. I feel like I somewhat have more of like a father figure approach there as well because I am a lot older in life and they'll catch up eventually, but definitely in those years, yeah.
You still be the big brother.
Yeah.
Very cool. And what were their names? What
So
are their names?
Michael, Gabriel, Julian.
Okay, all proper Italian names too, eh?
Yeah. All saint names as well, yeah, or angel names, yeah.
Very good. So I'm guessing yourself and your family very religious?
Yeah. Well, yeah, my family is, yeah.
Has that played a bit of, well, yourself, you religious?
I am, but like I believe more in the moral side of it, the everything around that. You know what I mean? I believe that you're a good person, you get good come to you. You know what I mean? You do all the right things. I believe in that sort of stuff. Don't get me wrong. Like I'll go to church, I'll pray, and all the rest of it. But I'd say there's more active or more active Catholics than I am.
There you go. Primary school, high school. Did you go overseas at all?
I had the pleasure of actually going to Italy for school when I was 14. That was cool because I'd never been on a plane before. That was the first time I ever been on a plane. And that was an experience and a half because I was first time away from my family as a 14-year-old. I went with school too. I actually had the pleasure of going to school there in Italy, which was very different and a bit of an eye opener. But yeah, it was cool.
And how long did you go for?
5 weeks.
5 weeks.
Yeah.
And during that time, during that 5 weeks, how'd you find Italy? What was like the biggest eye opener there?
The school, the kids, they're just a lot more mature than us. Like we were 14 and they were 14, but turning 24. Like
yeah,
14, you can drive a small car there. You know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah. The kids were smoking and with their teachers on their lunch break and at recess. It just was very, very different. I never forget when they came to our school, they was smoking on the school premise and they all got in trouble. You know what I mean? There's a big difference. Yeah, and like they have their siestas still, you know what I mean? If you live close enough to school, you can go home and have a sleep in the middle of the day. Like it's so different.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a different lifestyle. Like in my family there as well, like they I feel like here we live for luxuries. There they we work for luxuries there, they work to live.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like they will work to the means end. Like I heard a good story recently. Like a Italian man opened up his clothes shop in the morning. Okay, first person came in and bought enough clothes for what he'd make in a day, and he closed up shop, went home, and that was it. He was done. He was happy. You know what I mean, whilst here, if that happened to us, we're like, crack up. We're gonna have a great day today. Let's keep pushing.
It's true, and there's a saying the Greeks have, "Una faza, una razza," and it's a saying where the Greeks and Italians are the same face, very similar. And I can totally relate with some of those things that you were saying. You know, where I feel like there's a culture, there's a stereotype in Australia where we're gonna have the big house, we're gonna have the car, we're gonna have this, whatever that. Where, you know, I've got friends and family in Greece. They do very well, profitable, great business, the whole thing. They're totally cool, small apartment, and then whatever money they have, let's go to Spain.
Yeah,
let's go to this. And then you see the way they live, and you almost question, go, so which is the better way to live?
yeah.
Do you live more free and have disposable and holiday and have experiences and thing, or do you get the big house?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess it's a bit different there though. Like you can buy a house there in certain places for like 10,000 euros. You know what I mean? Whilst here, I don't know, 10,000 euros to here's what, 16 grand, 17 grand AUD. What are you gonna get? Like, you can't even buy a car with that. Like,
yeah, but they're quite happy to they live for the day, and I mean, sure, when you go to Europe, when you go to Italy, Greece, and many of the other countries, I think you find they stay out till late, they eat late, they laugh, and you almost question, do they got it wrong? Do we got it wrong? Like, which is the better way to live?
Look, I would never swap my life for anyone else, but when I do think about it, you could. If
Sounds
you could
pretty
go,
good.
if you go, you know what? That's why it's a holiday. You go there and you do it for a month. But I don't know if you're. I think you would be the same. I am, after a certain point of time, I'm like, all right, get me back to reality. I need to get back to what
kick
I'm
some
doing.
goals.
Yeah.
Let's kick some goals.
Yeah.
I think I said it on a previous podcast. It's the pick your poison. And way number one is you clock off at 5 p.m. and you go to the beach and with your family, and you enjoy your time, and you're living in the moment, and that precious time that you're having with your family on a Tuesday, 6 p.m., you'll never get back.
No.
And you're in the moment, and it's priceless. But when you do that, the reality is you're missing business opportunity, and it takes a hit on your career. So then on the other side, you virtually work morning to night, 6-7 days a week, and you build yourself up, and you may make $1, and you put yourself around high profile people, and you kick goals, but then you miss all that beautiful time that you could be with your family and friends that you will never get back. And when you die, you will never have all that beautiful time. So both are shit.
Yeah, I know.
Both are shit.
I know. It's like,
either way, you're gonna lose. Pick your poison.
I know. Look, I guess it's you work hard when you're young so you can enjoy it when you're older, but then sometimes you don't make it to older. Like, what is it? You know what I mean? I guess we all got a path.
We're doomed.
Yeah, we're all doomed.
We're doomed.
I think I like to think there's always light at the end of the tunnel, but it does seem like sometimes we are doomed. Yes.
All right, so you're about 21 years old, and you're about 19-year-olds, and you've now made the switch into marketing.
Yep.
Why marketing?
To be honest, I did this class where we had to dissect certain case studies of where reputable businesses had failed. and it was all tied to marketing, like what they did wrong. And I loved it. One that I remember clearly was IKEA when they attempted to enter the Chinese market. Um, they failed miserably when they first entered, and they also failed when they entered the American market. They learned two hard lessons there. They essentially tried to grab their European Swedish product and chuck it into and service and chuck it into China first. Where they failed was China has that mentality where if they pay for a product or service, they want everything done. You know what I mean? They didn't understand that you had to go and pick out your own furniture, then drag it all the way to the front, pay for it, then go home and build it. Didn't work. So they failed. And then when they entered the US market, they also failed because they entered with like products that weren't big enough for the US market. So everything was small, European size, but everything in the US is big. You know what I mean? It was funny, like in the case study, they also said that instead of buying cups to use from IKEA, they were buying vases to use as cups because they like to use a lot of ice. So it was cool. Like there was a lot of those where we dissect a lot of where things went wrong, and a lot of it always tied down to the marketing and marketing research and the rest of it. And yeah, it just sparked my interest. And then with other courses, we had to design products and market it and go through a simulation, and you'd see how you'd go. And I don't know. I can talk about marketing for days. I just knew I loved it.
Yeah, yeah. IKEA is a massive case study, isn't it? There was a story where the owner's name again.
I can't remember.
He went after a multi-billion-dollar company. He went back to his hometown in Sweden, and he virtually said, "I'm going to build a really, really big facility because it's special to me. I've gone out and I've virtually conquered the world, and now I'm going to come back to my hometown where it started." And they were going to do a big grand opening, and he had a manager that was in charge of the whole thing. And the manager got his hands on some wholesale, beautiful Italian white marble. And he thought, how about I impress the owner? And I put marble all in the foyer. And when he comes, he's going to go, wow, look at this. You know, this is a thing. And when the owner of IKEA came in, it was the night before the opening of this, one of their best IKEA facilities. He looked at the marble and he goes, "What's this? Rip it up." He goes, "What do you mean? It's the best Italian marble. I put this. This is special. It's premium." He said, "No. If people see Italian marble, they're going to think we're too expensive. We need shitty concrete, right? So people think they're getting a deal.
Yeah.
People feel they're getting a deal.
Yeah.
And because you go to IKEA, everything's cheap, but you walk out with $400.
Easy. It's like when you go into Kmart. I end up walking out and I've spent $200-300. I don't know how.
Yeah. It all adds up, but human psychology is massive.
Massive.
For the camera, I think it's. We'll go to there. Okay, cool. So yeah, and how old were you when you kind of finished uni?
I was 20. Yeah, I was 20. Yeah.
Okay, so you finished uni, and now what?
So during my last year of uni, I actually attempted to start digital marketing. I actually got my first role working for a business. They were just one business, but they owned 4 different brands, and I came in and I was just their head of marketing, and I was just figuring
straight away head of marketing.
Yeah. To be honest, I was working at a cafe, and I built a bond with this guy, and he liked my vibe, and he's like, "I'll give you a chance." I learned a lot of cool lessons. I learned how to get into Google Ads, Meta Ads, and the SEO side of things in the early stages where it used to be all bullshit. And
what do you mean early stage used to be all bullshit?
Well, back in the day, you used to just have to put the keyword you want to rank for and as the same color background over and over again as your website, and you'd rank for it. Like, it was easy. These days, forget it. Like, you can't. That's black hat that's black hat SEO. Now it's all about white hat SEO. So back then it was a cinch. Like, I could get a website ranking next day. These days, and for the hardest keywords, these days it takes 6 months, 12 months.
There you go.
Yeah.
So I mean, you came in to a business that had four other businesses. All those businesses.
Yeah, one was selling hooded towels. One was a chemist. They sold chemist pod systems. The other one was a printing company, and then the other was what was the fourth one? The fourth one was I believe it was an extension of the towel company. It was selling further just normal towels and the
So
rest.
this guy was a baller. He had a
Yeah, well, they had just a different mentality. So they started with the printing company and it did well. And then what they do is they buy out other printing companies and just merge them into one bigger printing company. And then when I guess the digital world started coming into play and they realized that printing is going to start coming back down and you started competing with Officeworks that also did printing, they started acquiring other businesses that were already successful but wanted a way out, and they just buy it with the equity they had and just fueled it further. And I guess it's a different way of diversifying your wealth and making sure you don't go under with the one that was making you money initially. So they were smart.
And how long were they? How long were you doing that for?
I did it for a solid year, and then I quickly learned that I needed to get the experience or further experience because I was teaching myself how to do this. And
How would you teach yourself?
well, I was watching videos on YouTube, and honestly, like my business partners laugh at me, but a lot of things if I need to learn something, I'll fuck up and learn. You know what I mean? Like as long as you learn from your mistakes.
Oh, yeah.
My biggest thing is if you make a mistake, that's fine. Just learn from it. You know what I mean? Don't do it again. But yeah, no, and it worked. I got some great results, and I quickly realized I could grow something out, but I was young. Like I was very, very young, and one thing I struggled to get across the line was people didn't trust the 20-year-old. You know what I mean? Especially if I'm competing with late 20s, early 30-year-olds that just looked the part. So yeah.
So after that year, what's going on?
So I actually went to Europe, as every 21-year-old does. And when I went, yeah, of course. Yeah. Had my fun, and
then that stage where you're married now, you got the ring on.
Yeah.
You went with the boys trip.
I hadn't met my wife then, so it was boys trip, and prior to that, I wrapped things up.
Good times, eh?
Yeah. Because I sort of realized before I did need to get more experience, and one thing I struggled with is I've always been able to talk. I can talk underwater. I needed to learn how to sell. That's what I needed to learn. So I went to Europe and I came back, and
Where'd you go?
I went to a company called Wink. They used to be called Staples. They sell office supplies.
Okay.
And I was cold calling. I cold called for up to nearly a year. And man, the biggest advice I can give to anyone is if you want to learn how to sell, go into a cold calling role.
Yeah. I actually tried that. I was about 19 years old, and my mate goes, "Listen, I think I was about 6 weeks out from also going to Europe." He goes, it pays $45 an hour, right? So come for 5-6 weeks, earn a couple G's, and then we'll go Europe.
Yeah, nice.
It's real easy. Everyone gets it.
Yeah.
I'm like, sick. All right, so I rocked up to this place, right, to go get this job cold calling in the city, and they sat about 7 people around a table, and they did an interview with like 7 people at one time, and they're like, put your hand up if you think this or think that, and then they'd weed people out, and then they were doing like that, and then they interviewed me one-on-one, and then they go, you didn't get the job. And after my mate was going, dude, it's the easiest thing. I go, I'm really shit.
Yeah.
So that's my experience of cold calling. But you did it for a year straight. How many calls per day?
We'd have to make 30 successful calls a day. So I'd probably need to call 30 successful calls was deemed by having a 2-minute conversation with someone.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So to get that, you'd probably need to call, I'd say 100 times a day to get that. And I'm very competitive. So I got in there and no one had been able to hit the 30 calls a day ever. Like they set an unrealistic KPI because they're like, cool, we'll keep everyone working towards it. And you only got your commissions if you got it. I got it. and I got it consistently. And the reason being is I changed up my tactic. I learned quickly that no one gave a shit about office supplies. Like we're business owners. Do you care if someone calls you and says, I can save you $5 on paper? No.
You know what? I'm interested. How about we run it back and go ring ring.
Yeah, done.
Let's
done.
do it.
Yeah, done.
All
So
right.
I used to say,
No. Let's do it right now.
yeah, all right, done.
Hello, who is it?
Hello, this is Matthew speaking.
Matthew from.
I'm from Wink. We used to be called Staples.
Okay. Sorry. What's
So
this for?
you already know who we are. Why? You already got an account with us. So I'm just calling to. I just checked. You haven't placed an order in a while, but I do see that there is a couple deals running at the moment, and it's probably about time since the last deal that your paper's starting to run thin. Would you like me to run through the deals that we've got running currently?
Okay.
Yeah, perfect. So, what's your job title there?
I'm the director.
Okay, amazing. So you're the actual decision maker. Look, to be honest, usually I'd speak to the receptionist. I'd never
His
get
price
through
is
the
going up
director.
again. His price is going up again.
No. We're currently the cheapest in the market.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So usually it'd be a receptionist, and what I would do is I would actually glorify them to be the savior. So I'm like, if you take this back to your boss, you're going to be saving him X amount. So I'm like, I can see. I'll be like asking, how much paper do you buy per year, or how many tech do you buy per year? And they'll be like, oh, we buy about 5,000. And I'll be like, all right, amazing. If you buy that through us, or your next order through us, I can save you $500. If you take that to your boss, you're saving him $500. And they'd be like, that's amazing. Send me an email on this and I'll run it past him. And I'm not even joking. I'd have a 50% success rate. Or sometimes I'd be like, you have an account with us. I always start with, you have an account with us. And they're like, oh yeah, true. We haven't placed an order in a while. Can you send me through your login details? And I just create an account and off they go. And no one, like I used to sit in a room, I used to run training. I got to a point where I couldn't believe what I was doing. I was running training for the rest of the team. And they were like, wait, you're just scamming people. I'm like, no. I'm just telling them what they want to hear. I'm making them the hero. So I learned quite a bit about like the whole gatekeeping side of things. So you've got the gatekeeper, who's the receptionist or the EA or whatever it is, and you got the decision maker. You need to make it that the gatekeeper is presented as the hero to the decision maker, so that you get the deal across the line. Because ultimately, the director does not give a shit if he saves $5 or $500, because at that point, it's nothing to them, to the bottom line. However, if it's in front of him and the decision's made already, you're going to be like, yeah, no worries. Oh, you've easily made me save $100, $500, whatever it is.
There you go. No, it's true. It's the psychology.
Yeah. And I guess it was just, I was getting a lot of rejections at first, and I was like, okay, how can I just get him on the phone for 2 minutes? Like, if I bullshit a bit, is it a bad thing? And I never forget, I asked my boss at the time. He's like, man, if you can keep him on the phone for 2 minutes, I don't care what you say. I was like, all right, done. So I did it.
Well, you saved them $500.
Yeah. Sometimes more. It's just an example, but yeah.
Win-win.
Yeah.
Win-win.
Correct. And I'd get a new client through the door, and they'd buy for the longevity of, however they wanted to. So it was all about just building new accounts. That's all I needed to do. I needed to get businesses to create an account with Wink and for them to buy continuously post that.
And what made you want to finish up with those guys?
So one day, I think it was around 10 months in, I got a call from where I spent my next 5 years at, Online Marketing Gurus, and
Juggernauts.
Yeah. And at that point, they were still very, very early on. So we're talking, this would be about 7 years ago now. So I got a call, and essentially they were like, because on my resume on LinkedIn, they must have seen my LinkedIn, and you always have to paint the picture of, on LinkedIn, it's all about painting a picture, I guess. So I very much glorified. I was a head of marketing of this, and I was now in cold calling for that. And they gave me a call. They're like, wait a second, how old are you? I was like, oh, I'm 21. And they're like, so you've already done digital marketing and you're now in a sales role? I was like, yeah. And they're like, we've got a perfect role for you. Do you want to come across? And I was itching to get into digital marketing at this point. So it was just like came at the perfect time. And I went across, interviewed, and they hired me that day. And I started the next week as a junior account executive.
Wow. And what does a junior account executive mean?
So I was part of the account management team, but I was a junior, so I would assist the other senior account managers in a lot of the, I guess, the shit work. So like putting decks together or making audits. And well, I thought it was shit work. Now I think it's the best if I can go back to that. But it was a lot of that, and I learned a lot. Yeah.
There you go. So year one I mean, is a rapid growing, massive business. A lot of people.
Yeah.
Um,
At that
tell
time
us about that.
it was growing quite rapidly. So I think when I first started they had about 30 people, and then yeah, after year one I think they quickly grew to like 40, 50. It was crazy. Yeah.
Wow. And working such a rapid growth business, exciting,
Mm,
very cool.
yeah.
Year number two, 1 to 5. How was that? I mean, it's a big period of your life.
Yeah, yeah, it was awesome. So I had the pleasure of being there from when they were very much, I wouldn't say startup, but like they were starting to get established. They were starting to build a name to when they were at the end, where they're one of the biggest digital marketing agencies in Australia. And
Will they be the biggest now?
they'd be one of them. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I'd probably say them, King Kong, Studio Hawk's quite big now from an SEO perspective, and yeah, you got a couple megaphone. There's a couple big dogs in there, yeah. But yeah, I'd say they're one of the biggest. But when I first started, yeah, they were building up to it. And yeah, I had the pleasure of growing with them. So I started off as a junior. After 6 months, I progressed to account manager. A year from there, senior account manager. I think 9 months from there, account director, and then another year from there, a group account director. And then just before I left, I was getting groomed to become head of account management.
Wow. That's many positions, lots of career growth,
Yeah, yeah,
which is awesome. It's I feel like it's a big thing in businesses to be able to have those pathways and to set them out. But
yeah.
lots of steps right there. And you know, in a rapid growing business, working a million miles an hour, a lot of adversity. I'm
Mm-mm.
guessing a lot of people coming, lots of that. Tell us about all that pressure.
Um, like I said, I was a very competitive guy, so like it was very different back when I first started. Like I said, SEO was very different. Google Ads was starting to come up, Meta Ads was starting to come up, so it was very much SEO focused, and it was very different. Like when I first started, I remember I think I managed like 80 accounts, you know what I mean, or more. And but now you can't, you know what I mean, there's too many moving parts now. There's too many. There's a lot more to do on an account. It's impossible to do that. But back then, I figured out a way. It was nearly impossible back then, but I figured out a way. And one thing I can credit OMG with is it wasn't about age, it wasn't about experience, it was about grind and getting the results. And like I said, I was competitive, and I wanted to bring the results, and I wanted to grow quickly. I wanted to impress the owners. I really did. Like I really admired both all the owners. I saw how they were young guys. You know what I mean? I think they're probably like maybe 10 years older than myself, and maybe even less. And I was like, man, if I could be that in 10 years, I'd love to. And the way I saw doing it was I need to impress them.
Yeah. Oh, that grind culture
Mm,
is where great things happen.
yeah, 100%.
It's I think that's what it takes in this day and age. You need that. You need those big hours, work smart
Yeah. Yeah.
type thing.
It's all about efficiency. I think like working smart, not hard is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
That a lot of people don't necessarily understand. I'd watch people put in a lot more hours than me, but didn't get the results. And I just think that what I find these days, and even back then, is so many people are scared to pick up the phone. Like you'll dwell on an email for an hour or two, where you could probably pick up the phone and have that conversation in
Bang.
5 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and have more impact.
100%.
Relationships.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, like I said, I can talk underwater. Like I didn't care. I'd pick up the phone. I'd call anyone. I'd get a disgruntled client. I'd just call them. I'd be like, hey, what's the problem? Like let's hash it out now. Let's fix it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Instead of sitting there going for a walk, dwelling on it for the next day, and then they were even more pissed off, and then you'll get another second follow up email. Now you're having to send an essay because you're too scared to call them. Like That's where I think a lot of people went wrong.
Yeah. I feel like the back and forth email just it leaves a platform just to it can blow up, can't it?
And a lot can get misinterpreted
Back and
over
forth.
email.
Yeah. Tonality, the whole thing.
Yeah. Like I used to read emails. I go, what the fuck? What are you trying to say here? And then I call them and they're the sweetest person ever. Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like some individuals too, they're really, really good and tough on email.
Yeah. Oh,
And then
yeah.
you speak to them and they're just an absolute pleasure.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can overthink it type thing.
100%. Like if you're speaking to an owner, sometimes they don't have time to add sweeteners to their email, emojis and shit. They just say approve, bang.
Yep.
See you later. And you get on the phone and they're so appreciative. You just got to understand who you're talking to.
No, definitely. And you can definitely move a lot more velocity. Time consuming. You pick up the phone, get it done, and then Yes. Okay. So you were there for 5 years, a long time.
Yeah, I think it was 5.5 to be exact, but yeah, quite a while.
And I'm guessing you learned a hell of a lot.
Yeah, I did. Honestly, one thing I do appreciate is how much I learned there. Like it was insane. Like I got to very much learn. Like I got thrown in the deep end, and that's how you learn better. Oh, that's how some people learn best, and it's definitely hard.
I think everybody learns.
That's what I think.
University, you're going to open a book, or you're going to go and jump into the deep end, make 100 calls per day.
Yeah.
Get shut down, figure it out, and I say this to my team is, I think early days, everyone in business, something bad happens and you feel your whole world's gonna crumble, and as time goes by, your skin thickens.
Yeah, 100%.
And you won't always have that anxiety. It's just at the start. It all comes with experience.
Yeah.
And when they're in tears, I say, listen, this is good. Pressure makes diamonds.
That's it.
I was exactly, everyone, you always freak out. I think with time and experience, you would have had a great platform to be in a great culture, that grind culture, rapid growing, would have built really, really great foundations for where you are today. After 5 years, what's happening?
Yeah, so towards the end of my OMG tenure, I was group account director, and by that time I was managing, I would say 16 account managers and account executives and senior account managers underneath myself. And I loved it. I got to build my own team. This is where I came from, where I said I did hire initially based on people I already knew. I knew would come in, and even though we were junior, I was like, I very much said to the one of the owners was still very much heavily involved at this time. I'm like, if you give me this position, I want to hire who I want to hire. Like I'm going out to find my own people. And they were all for it. I was like, it's not to discredit a lot of the other seniors that were there when I was a senior, but a lot of them were a lot older than me and were hired from other agencies. And not every agency does things the same. And if you come from an agency that is very chilled, laid back, to an agency that is very hustle on the go, you crumble. You know what I mean? Especially if you're so used to it, and you're also set in your ways. If you're if you're 30 plus, I hope you don't take offense to this, but if you're 30 plus and you've been working in the industry for 10 plus years and you're set in your ways, you're used to managing 1-2 clients, and then straight away we give you 30 clients. What are you going to do? You're going to go, what do I start? You know what I mean?
Listen, I turn 30 next month. It's a touchy subject. It is. I'm freaking out. I'm in my 20s, but I'm freaking out. And you just went, if you're 30 plus, I went 30 plus. Yeah. Shit.
But yeah, I pretty much said to him, I'm like, I do want to very much inject quite a bit of youth here. And I hired people with no experience. I literally hired straight from uni, and people that I knew that had that grinding mentality. They wanted to come in and do well, and it worked. Yeah. And when I got one that worked, I would then say, hey, do you have mates? And then they'd bring their mates over. And it somewhat created a very much an enjoyable culture as well, because your mates are that you can enjoy coming to work. You know what I mean? You'd have to kick people out of the office. You know what I mean? You'd have to, people were naturally competitive because you wanted to be with your mates. As a team, we did well as well because you wanted to beat the other team, and it was good. It was great. I really enjoyed that. But yeah, I was a group account director, and then like I said, I was getting grouped to be head of account management. Role was quite similar, but you definitely evolved to. you eventually then have group account directors reporting to you, and then they have their relevant teams. But you very much are looking after mainly the issues. And I had a taste of it when I was a group account director, and it's not like I didn't enjoy it. I liked solving issues, but I somewhat sitting there and I was like, this is somewhat the highest I can go here. Like I didn't see anything beyond that, and I was driven by growth. Like head of account management, what's past that? If I try and break C-suite, can I do it here, or do I need to go somewhere else? Do I need to jump ship a couple of times, get experience? I was still 26, 27. Like, where do I go? And that's when I realized I was like, look, I either jump ship to another agency and get into an head account management role there, or maybe even a head of SEO or something completely different, get my stripes, or I try to do something myself.
And what'd you do?
Yeah, one of my friends, she came to me with an idea, or I also fueled the idea, and I ended up joining her. They were more hospitality focused as an agency, more social hospitality focused, and I came in and I was like, I'm going to be your head of digital performance. Like I'm going to sell to your current base and further clients that you pitch to, SEO, Google ads, social media ads. And like I'll manage that. I'll grow out a team from it. And it was working. What I found though was because of naturally I wanted to go for everyone. You know what I mean? Not just hospitality. I was attracting a lot of leads outside of hospitality. And from there, I would put those leads that weren't hospitality related into my friend Daniel's business, D&M Digital. That then I found I was getting more and more, and I was helping him on that side as well. And essentially it grew to a certain point where I had to make the switch across, and we grew it to what it is. After 6 months, I was like, I got to go across and fully focus on this. And that was it. Yeah. And it broke away entirely from, it's not like we don't take hospitality clients on, but it's very much focused on, lead gen, e-com, everyone that needs performance marketing. It was.
And everyone wants leads.
Everyone wants leads. Everyone wants sales. Yeah. If you're not hunting for that, I don't know what you're doing digital marketing for.
Yeah. And I'm guessing with the experience that you have, you've got a background in accounts, you understand sales, and you've been right in the operations. You've been in recruitment too. So you've got that idea in the HR world, equipped, still very young, to basically take on the business world. But I'm sure with all the skill set, the challenges of business, money in, money out.
Yeah.
It's all there.
Yeah.
Tell us about the challenges.
Yeah. Look, it's funny you say the accounting side. Like I said, I sucked at accounting at uni. So I definitely wish I paid more attention there, because it would have definitely helped. But look, the main challenges have been, we've been quite not, I wouldn't say lucky. We work hard. I don't believe in luck. We work hard. We haven't really faced drastic challenges. I'd say the biggest challenges we have had is we are scaling. We need to find great talent. We want to position ourselves as a premium performance marketing agency. So by doing so, you can't really bring in, unfortunately, juniors or people that are unexperienced. You really do need to go after the more experienced and people that are going to hit the ground running, especially in your early stages too. So the only challenges is just finding those people, and luckily so far we've been good on that front.
It's a big thing, people.
It really is, yeah.
And as time goes by, I mean, if we run it back, 13-year-old Matthew working in Domino's, that kind of culture, and you're hiring today, do you see a difference in culture with work ethic when it comes to individuals at a young age?
I do feel like there is. It's funny one. I do feel like a lot more of the kids.
Let it out.
Yeah, a lot more of the kids these days. They got what they wanted as a kid.
We're sounding old now, kids these days.
Yeah, I know. Like I had to buy my own PlayStation. I had to buy my own shoes that I wanted. I don't think kids these days have that. You know what I mean? Like I feel like they want something, they get it. You know what I mean? And I feel like it's a harsh reality when you get into the real world. If you want something, you're not necessarily just going to get it. That's where I think a lot of the kids these days are going wrong. They come out of uni and straight away want 6-figure salaries. It doesn't work like that. I worked very, very hard to get to that point initially. And then, yeah, like, you know what I mean? I feel like everyone feels entitled these days when they come, a lot of the younger generation. Don't get me wrong.
You get the unicorn.
Yeah, you do get the unicorn. Yeah, I really do think you do. And again, when you find that unicorn, you capitalize and you find all the unicorns around them.
So there's more unicorns. It's not just one unicorn.
You're the product of your environment.
Yeah. The unicorn have unicorn friends.
Yeah. And look, they might not necessarily be in the field, but you can convince them. Like, I've convinced a lot of people to switch over to digital marketing from something else. And I purely say to them, hey, like, do you really enjoy what you're doing? And most of the time, like, it sucks to say, but a lot of people don't really enjoy what they do. I'd say the majority of like people I talk to again, some people that do digital marketing might not enjoy digital marketing, but I do think a lot of people don't necessarily enjoy what they do.
Yeah. And at what point did you get married? How we missed that? We're talking about your life story, and we missed them.
I was.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, I was. You know what's funny? Like, in the short stint I had at Wink, I was very lucky to meet a lady, which is my wife's auntie.
Your wife's auntie. Okay.
Yeah, and at that time, we both were recently out of breakups, and she was like, "You would be perfect for my niece." I didn't think much of it, but then she showed me a photo. I was like, "Oh wow, your niece is stunning."
Goddamn.
Yeah. And then naturally, I couldn't help myself, and I reached out because if I've got the auntie's approval.
What do you reach out? Text or Instagram DM?
I followed on Instagram and DM'd on Instagram. Yeah.
And what was the DM? Just pull it up on the screen.
Yeah. I think I responded to a story, to be honest.
Was it the fire emoji?
I think it was the fire emoji. Yeah.
Work the dream.
Yeah. But I was like, I heard great things, you know what I mean? And I don't know. I feel like it's very hard to find a good girl these days. And if you got your auntie preaching you know what I mean? You have to be somewhat decent. And I think I made my impression, and we hit it off from the get go. And my wife, she's great. She.
Where was the first date?
We went for coffee in Brighton. Yeah,
good Brighton. That's where you're gonna be seen.
That's it. And
nothing to hide.
No, that's it. And then the rest is history. Like, we were together. We just hit 6 years officially together, but we're gonna be 1 year married in April. Yeah.
Okay, no, that's beautiful. And tell me, how has she had an impact on the journey? I guess?
Yeah. She's been great because she definitely understands the potential, I guess. So I think it's more, she does bring you down to earth as well. Like, my competitiveness can sometimes get the better of me, or my overconfidence can sometimes get the better of me. And when she needs to, she'll pop that bubble, you know what I mean? Bring me down to earth and paint things in a different picture that makes me realize, okay, you're right. I'm overthinking this, or I'm thinking this in the wrong way. So she's great because we are opposite in many ways, but similar in a lot of we're opposite in the best ways and similar in the best ways, if that makes sense.
Opposites can attract too.
Yeah, 100%.
How do you deal with the whole you're working BLs?
Yeah.
7 days a week?
Yeah.
How does that work in a relationship?
I make sure that the time I spend with her is my full attention. One thing I learnt early on when this was taking off, and I was struggling to switch off. So when we'd finally sit down and watch a show, you know what I mean, or a movie, or we go for a walk, I'd always be somewhat thinking of work or thinking of what I'm doing tomorrow, or getting texts, getting emails, getting calls. And what I had to learn was the time that you spend with someone, you need to give it same as you give your work 100%, you need to give your wife 100%. So that's what I found helped.
And what's that? Is that 1 date per week? What's the secret?
I'm quite lucky.
I'm just asking for a mate.
Yeah.
I'm just asking for a mate.
Yeah, I'm quite lucky. My wife is definitely not high maintenance like that at all. I think all she wants is just attention. Not necessarily attention. Sorry, is
Nearly fucked up just then.
yeah. I think it's more the time. So like, it's more like we sit there, we enjoy a movie together, enjoy a show together. Go like, we are very easy to please people. Like, if you had to ask me my ideal night and her ideal night, it'd be very similar. It'd be El Jannah or Frango's or Neo's is close to us, whatever it is. And
How good's Neo's?
yeah, it's great. And sitting down and watching a movie, you know what I mean? And we've got our dog with us and we're happy, you know what I mean? But yeah, like she gets it, you know what I mean? She understands that, and she fuels me. Like, I do things, I do a lot of my hard work is to not only impress myself, but impress her and
Yeah.
impress my family and the rest of it. Yeah.
And you think in the back of your minds, and I could be wrong, you go on future kids
Yeah, for sure.
and you're
yeah.
going, shit,
Yeah.
pressure.
Yeah, like you, as soon as you have one dependable, two dependables, like you need to hustle. Yeah, it's the kids are not cheap.
Yeah, I hear. I think it was a something like from 0 to the age of 21, because they actually saw that parents still help their kids up until 21, not 18, still 21. It was like $1.1 million per kid
Yeah,
average.
I believe it. Yeah,
It's a lot of. It's 1.1 mil.
yeah.
You get 2 Lambos for that.
Look at preschool these days. How expensive is that? Like, oh, sorry, childcare preschool. Like, it's insane. Yeah.
Well, I think I don't know. I feel 28. I'm 29. Similar kind of position, minus me getting married. But it's like the time's ticking.
Yeah.
And you're looking and you're going, okay, well, I need to be ready because once kids comes into the mix, you're gonna have to pull back and take little Timmy to soccer. Because that's what you want to do. You want to be present.
Yeah.
So it's a big thing.
I think honestly, like, one thing that we speak about, like, I got 2 business partners, and one thing we speak about quite a bit is our goal is to, once we're ready and get to that point, that we can afford to, you know what I mean? We have people that are looking after certain things so that we can take our kid to soccer or swimming or spend time with our wives, you know what I mean? And enjoy life. I think our hardworking mentality sometimes, I think, will still take over at that point, but it definitely is a goal.
Big thing is relationships, isn't it? Because you got these OG clients, they're with you. They stood by you from the start. They supported you, and you want to stick by them and give it. And they want Matthew. They want. They don't want anyone else.
Yeah.
And to not rock up and give you their time, you almost feel like you're doing it. You don't want to. You're doing it dirty. It's the relationships you get hooked in there.
It's the hardest thing, but the way that I word it to them is, I always like to think that who I hire, that reports to me like the highest level, is who I give to them is better than me.
Yes.
I like to say it to them. I'll be like, look, it's not that I don't want to manage it. It's just that I think you actually do better with this person. Why? They can give it more time. They've got a touch more experience in your industry. It's not to say that, and again, like, my goal is to find someone that will replace me, that is better than me. You know what I mean? That's always the goal. And if you don't, like, you have to have that mentality, I feel. If you think you're the best, then I think it's a big fault in everything.
Yep. No, that's awesome. So, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time?
It's interesting. Like, if you had to ask me a year ago if I'd be here, I would be like, no chance. You know what I mean? So it's very hard to say, but with the way we're going, I'd like to think we'd be somewhat up there. I'd like to think that we'd be in the names with those big boys. I'd love to think that I can sit at the table with some of those mentors that I looked up to. You know what I mean? And those in growing through the industry. So yeah, that's where I'd love to be in 5 years. I'd love to have a reputable agency that is known to produce great work and is performance focused and is premium.
Very cool. I love it. So really, 4-year-old Matthew growing up, both your parents both came from a strong work ethic, and you carried that on. You know, working at Domino's from 13, the Mediterranean, 14, 15, working lots and lots of different hospitality jobs, which individuals that age do not normally do. You came through and you went to university, but you went with your intuition of what felt right. You took some of the hardest jobs of cold calling, and you stay competitive. It sounded like you put your 110% into anything that you did. You got the opportunity in a great place, and you really excelled. And again, you went with your intuition, with what made sense, and you backed yourself to do something, great. So it did, and here you are now. I feel like in 10 years' time we should run this podcast back. But I guess before we wrap up, one last question: what's one piece of advice that you would give to a 10-year-old, Matthew?
Other than don't waste your money on FIFA points and buy Bitcoin instead. It's an interesting one. I think you heard me say it in the middle of the podcast, is the accounting side of things. It's as you'd see the same thing. Once you turn into business owner, you know what I mean? You really need to understand your numbers. You need to understand every little thing of your numbers, and a lot of new terms start getting thrown at you that you've probably never heard before, but I probably did back in uni, but I just wasn't paying attention. So if I had to tell myself at 10 years old, I'd be like, pay attention, do commerce, do business studies at school, so that you could have taken, I guess, faster strides when you got into business. But yeah, look, I have no regrets. Another thing would probably be is work on your right foot in soccer, because my right foot sucks.
You're a lefty.
I'm a lefty, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Far out. Okay, you hear that, kids? Commerce and
work on your weaker foot.
Work on your weaker foot.
That's it.
Very good. Well, that's a wrap. And mate, thank you. I'm gonna shake your hand.
No, let's do it.